What is up? This is Joe from the Buckeye Cast, bringing you post-game Ryan Day press conference, along with Kevin Wilson and CJ Stroud. Also, we have player interviews. Yes, everybody's favorite. We got Cam Martinez, Dallan Hayden, Emeka Egbuka, Jack Sawyer, Julian Fleming, and Ronnie Hickman. Here is Coach Day.
Before we go to questions, I just want to quickly just make a mention of the crowd. Unbelievable. The walk from the Blackwell over to the Skull Session. The Skull Session was standing room only, and then the walk over to the stadium, and then to see everybody in the stadium, 105,000 for this night game was unbelievable. And, we wanted to make sure that we played well in this game because of that. So I just want to thank Buckeye Nation for showing out in a big way.
All right, we're going to open it up with questions. We'll go over here to the left. Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, CJ, was that as good as you've seen from him? And how good is he at reading defenses? I think you've said that may be what he's the best at. But
yeah, he has very good vision. But I thought CJ had a good week of practice. I thought his attitude was excellent. I thought his work ethic was excellent. I thought the time he put in on his own was excellent. We had a tough week of practice. We did. We were physical on Tuesday, physical on Wednesday. We got a ton of reps. We just felt like we needed to do that, and he embraced that. That's a lot. It's as the quarterback, you take a lot on. But his attitude was excellent. His energy was excellent today, and he played really well. I think he fed off having Jackson and Julian back in the lineup too, which was great. But I thought overall the combination of the run game and the pass game early on allowed us to get some momentum.
More than just a couple NFL throws into windows and
he's very, very talented. And you saw I would say a wide variety of throws tonight, like you're saying. You saw some in the red zone and a couple on third down, and that's where you make your money as a quarterback, is in the red zone and on third down. We talked a lot about staying on schedule and making sure we didn't have any 3-and-outs in this game. That was important. Certainly the penalties were something that were lingering coming off of last week. So a lot of things. We still got a long way to go. But I thought the offensive line played physical, and they practiced that way this week. So it doesn't surprise me they played that way. But I thought we did a good job up front. Next week we got a conference opponent, so everything's going to be even harder. So usually we wait till Sunday to move on to Wisconsin. We'll do that as we leave the stadium tonight.
Over here to the left, Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1 The Fan.
Ryan, I'm not sure exactly what word was used at School Session, but I felt like this team wanted a dominant performance, or you wanted one.
Yep.
Did this match up what you were expecting or hoping for?
Yeah, I thought, I would say so, but didn't come without its faults, flaws, issues, things we got to keep growing on and building on. But I thought offensively we got into a good rhythm running. I thought we finished things off in the red zone well. We were physical up front, and I thought Toledo going in had a good front, and I still think they do. And it was good to get 2 turnovers on defense. Anytime you can do that when the offense is moving the way it does, that's how you flip the scoreboard like we did in the second half. So, their quarterback was very athletic and made a lot of plays, and we got to take a look at how we can contain the quarterback better than that. And there were a few things there we got to clean up for sure going into conference play. But certainly when you look at the scoreboard, we're proud of what we did.
Over to the left, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Sorry to just move on to some the personnel kind of bookkeeping stuff, but Proctor and McAllister and Mike Hall, none of them were on the availability report. Nobody played tonight. What's the situation with them?
Yeah, they were all available. We just felt like it was the right thing to do coming out of warm-ups to hold them in the game. But we're expecting them to be available for next week as well.
Early word on Trevion, what the extent of that is?
Yeah, there's a handful of those kind of things that are going on, but we haven't seen anything that we think is going to be long-term, so we'll kind of regroup after tonight and figure out where everything's at. But this was a situation with a lot of those guys that we just wanted to, out of the abundance of caution, make sure that they were 100% before we put them in the game. And same thing with Julian and Jackson. We got them some reps and then kind of got them out of there. So that was good. But yeah, there was a few things that were, a few guys that were struggling with a couple things that we decided to hold on.
Over to the right, Bill Landis, Rivals.
Ryan, how long have you guys been sitting on the I formation stuff? And I guess what did you think of that? And then more generally, what have you thought of your sort of low red zone execution finishing off drives this year?
Well, we thought with the 100th year anniversary of the horseshoe that it'd be good to line up in the I and hand the ball to the fullback for a touchdown. So we wanted to get that done this year. But Mitch is a weapon for us, and we're trying to build those packages. I think you saw what Cade can do. You saw his versatility now. Firstly, you know how tough he is and how physically he is the line of scrimmage. But now you're starting to see what he can be a weapon in the passing game. We actually missed him a couple times in the end zone that were close. And then G. Scott is really starting to grow for us as well. He's become somebody that can do a lot of things. He's an athletic tight end for us, so that gives us a little something. And then Mitch gives us a little bit of something as well. So that's exciting. Not having Jackson play really, in the second half of the first game and really in game two, not having Julian available has allowed us to build some depth, but also look at a couple different packages, which hopefully pays off for us moving forward.
Over to the left, Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Ryan, kind of off that about the I form. I mean, you guys had a sweep to Emeka. You had the pass to Cade, like you said, probably could have been a touchdown. The handoff to Mitch. You have guys who can do a lot of stuff. How much does that open the book in the I form when you guys are down there on the goal line?
Well, we want to be creative the best we can down there, and when you have those type of guys with those type of skill sets, they can do a lot of things. They can get physical in the run game, then create conflict for some of the linebackers and safety, run pass, but then also having the ability to get the ball in the perimeter like you saw in that one play. And that's a good job by the offensive staff, coming in there with different ideas on how to attack defenses. And anytime you can be multiple like that with groupings or formations, then you put defense in stress.
Over here to the right, Clay Hall, WSYX.
You finished 13 yards off the school record for total offense with 763. On the other side, how beneficial to defensive quarterback like Finn? How will that maybe help down the road?
Yeah, well, certainly there was some things exposed that we got to get cleaned up. But that's growing as a team and growing as an offense, growing as a defense, and we'll get back and try to figure out what those are. And I think the one good thing is, we in the first game we play Notre Dame, and then we come back with two non-conference opponents here in Arkansas State and Toledo. So we've seen a couple different things. We've been challenged in different areas. So we have 3 games under our belt to try to evaluate what we need to get fixed and what we need to keep enhancing going into conference play, which is good. I think that's healthy for us.
Far left, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you kind of touched on it, but obviously the explosive plays have been there these first 3 weeks here, but just the way you guys executed in the red zone this week with the variety, especially with the I-form stuff, just talk about that and how happy you were with that today.
Yeah, well, we wanted to execute at a higher level this week going in and taking pride in our execution because we know that we can do that on offense. We can run the football. We've shown that we can do that. Now, it doesn't mean anything next week. All that matters is, what we do next week, but we've shown we can do that. We've shown that we can throw the football, and I think today you saw some of the play action where we put guys in run conflicts, conflict that opened up some tight end throws down the field, a couple things that we did, which was good. So anytime you can run, play action pass, drop back pass, that's the sign of a good offense, and we need to keep building on that. And, we feel like if we put the work in during the week, and now it's just about execution on Saturdays. But we need to regroup and go have another great week of practice this week.
Front row right here, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, the opening of the coin toss, you didn't defer, you took the ball. Was that just kind of a sense of urgency and just want to jump on it right away?
I talked to the team about it, said, we want to start fast in this game. And typically that's not something that we do. It's very rare. I don't know if maybe that's the first time we've done it since I've been the head coach, maybe. I don't remember when we've done that before. But, yeah, talked to them about it, and the guys like that. They wanted to get some juice going early on, and we felt like that was the right thing to do. But, when you do that, you got to go score the first possession. And we did that, and I thought we built some momentum for the day.
Got time for just a couple more. We'll go deep left, Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Ryan, Jackson kind of speaks for himself coming back into the lineup, but to get Julian back, you guys talked about him so much being an Iron Buckeye and the offseason that he had. What did it mean to get him back in the lineup? Yeah,
great for the room. You can see now the depth that we have, and when you're playing a full game, we're going to need all those guys. We just are. We knew we'd need all these guys. We didn't know that we'd need all of them. In the first game against Notre Dame, like we did. Next catches the big touchdown pass, but. Yeah, we're going to need all these guys throughout the year, and Julian's had a really good offseason. So to see him come back because he's had a few nagging injuries here and there, and then he's really made great progress. Has the Iron Buckeye, the whole thing's got a lot of momentum, and then gets this little tweak. The easy thing to do is get really frustrated. He didn't do that. He stayed positive, took care of his business, did a great job in rehab, and then to go see him make some plays tonight and get rewarded off of that was great. And he get 2 touchdown catches, right? So that's big for him. And he didn't play a full game. We just wanted to probably play him for about a half, and then hopefully build some momentum in the next week.
Front row right here, Tim May on 3.
Yeah, real quick, is Travion kind of dealing with what he dealt with last year, off and on?
This was a new thing.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a little something.
What
new.
I want to follow with, thank goodness Dallan Hayden showed up. I mean, obviously you were talking about him, the pair and the spare aspect, and it showed up tonight. And what did you just see out of him getting that extended action?
Well, he's practiced well. He's taken care of the football, and so is TC, quite honestly. Both of those guys have done a nice job in practice. But the number one thing for those guys, they have to take care of the football, because if they can build trust with the whole coaching staff, obviously the offensive staff, myself, Coach Alford, that's the number one thing. Protection and taking care of the football. They've done that. Now, they can let their natural ability take over, and I thought Dallin ran hard. He's done that in practice. So to see him in this, really his first time out play like this, you can see his quickness in the hole. He's got good vision. He's got power, and he's got a chance to be a really good back.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, we're going to open up to the front here with Bill Rabinowitz. Question for C.J. Stroud.
Tonight, did it feel like anything you wanted to do, you could do?
First and foremost, I just want to give all glory and praise to God. Definitely had a blessed night, man. I just pray for really just protection over Toledo and us, and I definitely think that he had his hand over us today, so just got to give all glory and praise to him. But, yeah, I think we were clicking. Coach Day's message this whole week was just starting early, just trying to be more consistent with the ball when we start with the ball, which we chose to do this game. And I'm not going to speak on that, but so we come out, connect on a couple throws, and I definitely think that got our juices rolling. Trey punches it in, and then at that time I think we're rolling. And then we I don't think we punted until that third quarter. So I definitely think that we started early, which was a great thing that we wanted to accomplish.
Okay, we're going to go over here for Clay Hall, and then we'll go to Rob Aller then.
CJ, folks were talking about 2 or 3 NFL throws there. How did you get the ball to Marvin early in the game over 2 defenders? It's like you do you know that?
We practice on throws like that. Coach Dennis and Coach Fitch definitely do a great job with repetition of that in practice, of just throwing over defenders and being confident while doing it. I definitely think that's the most important thing when making those type of throws, is being confident. And so they definitely feed that to me every week. And so shout out to Coach Dennis, Coach Fitch. We do our little 1-inch drills over I think those are baseball nets. And so we do that on the regular. But then I give glory and praise to God at the same time, too, just have that blessing of that vision. So I definitely don't think it's by accident. We definitely practice on that.
Is that one of the throws that got you going?
I'm not 100% sure which one you're talking about, because there was a couple that Marvin had that were really good. And Marvin did a great job of going up top and getting those. So I definitely, he's a big body receiver. He has every aspect of his game has definitely been shown, and it will continue to grow. So excited to see what he does the rest of the year.
Okay, Rob Aller. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CJ, how much film do you watch in a week, and do you enjoy doing it? For some guys, it's a chore, but I get the feel that you enjoy it.
Yes, sir, definitely. I definitely think the resources that we have at Ohio State with George, our film guy who gets me set up with everything, and I definitely just enjoy it just because it's kind of therapeutic to me. It helps me get away from certain issues I may be going through at the time, or just away from the outside world. And I definitely just think that football is definitely something God called me to do. So if I can lock in for a couple hours and knock out some real good film study, then I can, one, help us win. But then when we do win, God willing, I can give his name all the glory and praise. So I think that kind of plays into it as well. Just God gave me the talent, now I have to put in the work. So
I know your career is a progression, but did you have a moment over the last year where it clicked, where something clicked for you and it just kind of started to make sense and you could see, boy, I'm a different guy?
I'm not sure. I always kind of just try to keep my head down and work. I definitely think that my confidence is definitely boosted. I think that maybe that was a click. Maybe that was on and off that I first put on maybe in that Rose Bowl game last season, kind of playing confident in that game kind of forced me to be the momentum to roll and for me to be confident this season. And I definitely think just me being a leader and a captain on the team is when they see I'm confident, I think our offense and our whole team is confident, which is I think that's a great thing for the Buckeyes. So continue to build on that.
Over here to the right, Tim May on 3.
CJ, did you have any words of advice to Dallan Hayden? Obviously, he had to tote the rock a lot tonight because of a situation. But what have you seen out of him over the last month or so that gives you faith in him going down the road?
Right. I definitely just try to build him, just gave him some early confidence going in there. Just told him, man, just like, you've been playing this game since you've been 6 years old. It's the same game you've been playing. Just go out there, have fun. And I kind of forced him to take a deep breath with me back into the backfield. And once he didn't start like rambling or nothing, but I just made him do that just to relax, because I think that definitely helps. And he kind of calmed down. I told him, bro, you hit it hard enough, you're gonna break one. And so he broke a couple, which I'm really proud of. And he's a super hard worker. He practices really hard. Him and Coach Alford are definitely on film study when it comes to protections and things like that. And Trey and Mayan do a great job helping him. And then TC does a great job as well with kind of the same role of just, if we need you, bro, you got to go in there and do your thing. And I definitely think they both had confidence going there, so I'm really proud of them.
Over here to the left, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
CJ, 2 things. One, you kept it and you ran. But also, more importantly, on those times when you're scrambling, how do you develop poise in those moments? Like, how did you develop that throughout your life, developing that type of poise?
Right. I appreciate you pointing out that I ran a little bit. It felt good to get hit a little bit. And I ain't gonna lie, I probably could have did a little more. Kind of caught me off guard, but definitely think I did the right thing by pulling the ball on that play, and then had to scramble on a couple other ones. But I definitely think just this repetition, kind of growing up, just playing in the backyard, back home in Cali, just with my boys, just back in the backfield, just playing whatever. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think that you build that kind of like knack for the game then, and then you continue to grow. So Coach Day does a good job during like 7-on-7 and certain periods where we have what we call scramble drill, where we just try to make a play happen. But at the same time, he advises me to be smart. And one of those I threw away just because I knew that he would probably be mad if I tried it. So definitely just try to be a team player in those aspects. Just if I can make a play, make one. But if not, just throw it away and be smart.
Over here to the back, Mark Coons, BCSN.
Targeted him quite a bit in that first quarter. Was that the game plan? Was that what the defense was giving you, and just the job he provided and what the spark he gives the offense when you get that type of target?
Right. I definitely think that's just Cade, man. He's very versatile. I'm shooting myself in the foot. I missed him in the back. That killed me. I just get so excited in the plays like that. I just kind of, those are really the hardest throws when people are wide open. I don't know why that is, but, I wish I hit him. But he was all good with it. Still had a great game, phenomenal game. Blocked his tail off and also ran great routes, great body language. And it's just exciting for him to kind of see his work pay off, man. He's probably the person I look up to on the team, honestly. And he just continues to – he always puts confidence in me, just his knack just to win and want to just dominate people. And I definitely appreciate Cade. He's a great leader, great man of God. And then, of course, he works on the farm, which you can see in his work ethic. And it's starting to pay off for him, which I'm super excited for him. And I definitely think he'll continue to be great.
We have time for 2 more questions for CJ, and then I'm going to bring Coach Wilson up here. Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
CJ, you talked about getting Julian back, but we got to see more of what he could do tonight. What did he add to the offense, and what can he do? Coach Day said the plan was only to play a half. What can he do as he continues to build?
Right. I think he showed everybody what he can do in a small glimpse. I definitely think that people kind of maybe they forgot about him or whatever the case may be, but at the same time, he's quick to remind people. He's been working really, really hard in the offseason. So I'm super proud of him to be able to come in and impact the game that quick with a hell of a catch on the sideline. And then that second touchdown where he just had crisp route running and body language. And appreciate it, Jack. And I definitely think Julian has a lot more football ahead of him, and he'll continue to be great. And I'm super excited to see where. But it all starts with his hard work, man. He got to pat himself on the back, honestly, just because he took this offseason very serious of just getting better with route running, being more crisp, and living a good life outside of the field. Outside of the Woody. And I definitely think he did that. So I'm super happy for him to finally get on that side of winning.
And final questions for CJ, Katie Kapusta, Spectrum.
Hey, CJ, talking about Julian, to have him and JSN both back this week, what kind of confidence does that give you going into the game? You started about starting fast, and how do you think other teams see you guys as more of a threat now that they've seen all the weapons you have?
Right. Great question, CJ. Great name. I definitely think that plays a part. Starting early is one of our focus points, just because, I mean, with type of team we have, once we get momentum rolling, it's kind of hard to stop us. And I think, it starts with just execution. And then JSN and Julian definitely help with that. They're veterans on the team now. Luke does a great job with protections, and I definitely think my O-line did an amazing job picking up the blitzes and keeping their D-line honest. And their D-line was pretty good. We knew this was a good Toledo team coming in here. They're nothing to play with. They love moments like this because that's how they show how great they are. So I definitely think that we answered the bell when it came to that, just starting early. And it's just about execution and taking pride in that. And I definitely think that we did that and we'll continue to build. But it's going to take more because now we're going to Big Ten play, and we just got to be more and more focused and stick together and just keep rolling with this good momentum.
Great. CJ, thank you very much.
Guys.
We're going to call Coach Wilson up to the main podium then, please. We'll open up, Coach, with Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Kevin, just talk about the I-formation stuff in the red zone, and how did that kind of come into play?
Say again, please.
The I-formation stuff in the red zone. Just talk about how that came into play.
I mean, we've been doing, short yardage for a couple, like last year and this year with, Mitch as kind of the lead back, and so we've had that as a wing. We've done it with an extra lineman. Sometimes we have Josh Fryer playing as a D lineman, or we can have Cade, we can have G. Scott. We didn't have Joe Roy tonight with the minor thing, but he should be good. So we could get in 2 or 3 tight ends with Mitch as a lead blocker. We could also, from that set, jump to wing sets with him and not substitutes. It's very versatile. So it's the first time we've had it in since the first week. First time we had that little dive, just a 1-yard play. We didn't really block it very cleanly, but it was nice to get Mitch a touch and get him in the end zone. So
room maybe allow you to do it. Have more variety in what you want to do in those sets, maybe than.
Well, I think you just play to the strength of those guys. Good question. I mean, so you wouldn't be in that formation if you didn't have the guy or guys that think you could do it. And so we got like in a little I wing formation a couple times. We had the off tackle power play. We had the power pass off that we missed at CJ. So he had Cade on a little corner route that we missed. We had a lead play, just a lead stretch play that didn't work well, and there's a few plays you have, and then we hit Mitch on the quick little dive up the middle. So, but yeah, those guys, they're very unique. G's coming on very nice, playing better. Played the last 2 weeks the most he's played. And, Cade's kind of the big tight end with really good ball skills. Mitch is kind of the hybrid, more of a fullback blocker, but kind of good in short space. And I think it's a good group. I think Coach Day's gotten very comfortable playing to their strengths, and we're getting those guys involved. And I think it just helps complement with the receivers the skill of our offense. I think it makes our team a little bit more complete as that group plays well.
We're going to go over here, Bill Landis from from Rivals, and then we'll go Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Changing companies?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about the way you guys have finished off drives in the low red zone area, and how big of an emphasis was that for you guys coming into this season?
Well, I mean, I think it was the emphasis more on trying to get the run game going because it gets really hard even though we throw the ball so well. And I know Coach Day, Coach Hartline, Coach Dennis always work up the best red zone plan to throw the ball. But, those windows get tighter, those spaces get tighter. So your ability to run the ball in the red zone is when you really can be a better red zone offense. And that was the emphasis of all offseason, was just to be a little bit better in the run game. And we're building that way. We got a ways to go, but we're trending. So I think as the run game goes, you stay on schedule, you get more manageables, you get play action, and that's helped the low red offense. But I think the emphasis was more on, yes, we do need to score touchdowns, but can we run the ball better, and can we run the ball in tough situations, short yardage, goal line, low red. And right now we're not where we need to be, but we're getting better at that. And that's it's good to see for our team.
Kevin, you've seen a lot of great quarterbacks. It seems like the thing that separates the best is this ability to process information quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Where's CJ on that, and is he among the best you've seen?
Yeah, definitely one of the best. I and the game has evolved so much, as old as I guess I am to see it, but Sam Bradford was the first guy I thought had the quickest mind, and I would say CJ's rivals, his, and not only the ability to have a quick mind, but the ability to see and process. Because where's your vision? What do you see? I think he sees things very, very clearly. I think the way he works with Coach Day and Coach Dennis, he's very much in sync with what Coach Day wants him to do and where his eyes need to be and what his looks are and what his checkdowns are. And I heard him up here talking about, we're in a day and age where you guys cover him so much that if he throws an incomplete pass, it hurts his QBR. And it's sometimes, years ago, I was taught that an incomplete pass wasn't that bad. I think Coach Hayes, the legendary coach, had a quote about that about things that happen when you throw the ball. And, we always said throwing away wasn't the worst thing ever. But in this day and age where it seems like you got to make every shot, to not force into tight windows, the way our defense has played this preseason, he's had to scramble a lot, learn how to extend plays and make scramble plays. But he's very, very talented. He's very, very brilliant. And I think he sees the game for a young kid as well as I've ever seen a quarterback.
Over here to the right, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on a good night. Specific to Cade Stover, he feels like the quintessential Buckeye. He seems like the guy that just emboldens everything that you guys are about. When you see his toughness and the way he picks up teammates and then the way he goes out and performs, how gratifying is that for you, and how does that help build the culture that you guys try to build?
Very much. I think you heard C.J. Sego say, a guy he looks up to. He's a real leader because he leads by actions first. His work ethic, his durability, his consistency. He'll go out there and we GPS track those guys' yardage, and he's got a lot of yards in Tuesday, Wednesday practice, a lot of volume, but then he's up there blocking those defensive ends that are some of the most talented defensive ends in the country. And so the wear and tear that he puts and just his ability to consistently practice earns him great respect from his teammates. And it seems like, you guys, we see them around here. We only notice those guys when they catch the ball, but that room's been pretty good blocking for several years. There's some toughness. There's some core values. Sometimes when we're not good running the game, it's our guys that aren't good on the edge, my guys. And when they're doing pretty good, they're actually pretty good. And so, again, I think he's a much better athlete than people give him credit for. I think he's a great athlete, great ball skills. I think he's the quintessential tight end because he's got size, he's got toughness, he's not flashy. He's a little bit dirty, but he's got some ball skills. And, our team loves him. I love him. I think he's a special player. I'm happy. Long way to go. We're just starting. Long way to go with him. I'm counting on a big year without that kid.
We'll go to Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Kevin, we heard about the depth at running back with the top three guys, and I know Evan obviously got hurt, but tonight you guys showed quite a bit more. What does that room give beyond maybe the top two guys that we saw the first couple weeks?
Yeah, the top two guys are really special. We thought, again, the young guys are coming on. Now, TC's a walk-on guy. He's kind of popped in practice because he's going against the one defense. And that couple plays he made tonight, he's just got a little knack and feel. So for a walk-on freshman, very gifted, probably just overlooked in the recruiting process. We're glad he's here. And we're going to do everything to keep enhanced and bring him along. And I didn't realize when he got here how instinctive and quick Dallin was. Just his ability to, when he makes a cut, he's still going vertical. He's downhill and he's up on you. And it's great for young kids that are learning how to take care of the ball. They're still learning the offense. But we'll need those guys for some wear and tear and some durability down the stretch. And those are two really talented young freshmen. Dallin's doing great. He's a good young player.
Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1 The Fan.
Kevin, Mitch has been here for half a decade. When was that first moment that you thought, we might really have something that we can use here?
I didn't 2 years ago, and I even told him, I think you're an NFL fullback. I don't know if you think that, but I think that. There's not a lot of guys that do that, and the NFL still plays with that position quite a bit. And he kind of came on, and as he came on a couple years ago and had a couple plays in a couple of our games, it got a little bit out of hand, and his special team role took off, and I'm glad he came back for this extra year. If he stays healthy, maybe he gets that opportunity, maybe not. I think he's, beauty in the eye of the beholder. But, again, he and Kay give us maturity, give us toughness. They don't give us a lot of flash, but they give us great play. And those are I sit in that room every day with two men that I have a lot of respect for. They're special players. Excuse me?
That I formation, were you just calling it the I, or was that just the homage to William that you've been?
No, one formation was called I right tight. So one was called jumbo, and one was called heavy. So
we'll go here to the right. Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Kevin, you're 3 games in. How ready do you think this offense is for Big Ten play? What have you seen so far?
Big Ten plays different. It's more challenging. It's more physical up front. No disrespect. I had a lot of respect for Toledo's defensive line coming in. The Notre Dame front that we played was very, very deep and talent. But when you get in the Big Ten play, it's a line of scrimmage league. It's a tough league. It wears on you week after week after week. We're starting with a big challenge with a great line of scrimmage team on both sides coming up next week when Wisconsin walks into the shoes. So it's as good as the offense might look, the offense is not good until the end of the year, and you can see how tough and how consistent it is. We got enough skill. Coach Day will do a great job as we put the game plans together to get guys opportunity to make plays. But the great teams are tough. They're consistent. They play week after week, and they find ways to get W's. And we'll see if this team's ready to be a Big Ten team as we start with a great challenge and we play week after week because it's a bear in this league.
We got time for a couple more questions for Coach, but we do need to start wrapping it up with Cam Martinez in the back. Over here to the left, Bill Landis, Rivals.
Kevin, we've seen how good CJ can be in the pocket for over a year now, but he seems to be expanding that to more movement throws, more play extension. Just how much better has he gotten at that area from your perspective?
Yeah, we've always tried to have a little bit in the pass game, move in the pocket a little bit. Our defense with that umbrella coverage they play just forced us a lot during spring and preseason that the initial throws weren't open in practice or 7-on-7. Matter of fact, sometimes we call 7-on-7 drill now 7-on-8 because they put a defensive end out there and drop the guys. Like, geez, so there's nobody open, so you got to buy some time and scramble. And I think a year ago someone had some stats. I don't know if I buy all the PFF stats because I don't know who does those stats and how accurate they are. But our worst stat that someone posted was scrambles. Of all the plays last year, when you looked at our quick passes, out passes, deep passes play, our worst pass play last year was scrambles. Well, we didn't work on it that much. We really weren't trying to work on it this year, but our defense forced us to, and it's gotten to where we're pretty good at it. And again, I do think the thing for CJ is when to scramble, make a play, and when to scramble and throw it away. And the hype that these quarterbacks get and all the accolades and the ratings and completion percentages. I say this story, but when I was a player, our completion percentage goal was 57%. I remember that number. That would put you in the bottom 50 of college football right now. That was our goal back then. And so his ability to just be smart and not force it and check it down and manage what's going on is, to me, what great players do. And, he played great tonight. So, again, I appreciate the way he's playing. I appreciate the scrambles. And once in a while, I appreciate a throwaway because some teams are going to drop everybody. Maybe it's not there. Tonight he had a nice scramble. When they dropped everyone, tucked it down, slid up there, and took us, I think, from second long into third and manageable and kept a drive alive, which was a great play.
And final two questions. First one from Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Kevin, the plays that Cade has made him a passing game for the last couple of weeks, would he have been capable of making those plays last year, or does that speak to how much he's grown as a pass catcher?
He's grown as a pass catcher. He worked a lot this summer, with behind scenes. Keenan Bailey's kind of working with the offenses, worked with receivers, and kind of got with him a little bit just in understanding coverages and attacking leverages of guys. And they spent some time together, behind scenes, just trying to be better. I think a year ago sometimes he would rush some things, and when we were practicing, but also a year ago, he wasn't as complete as Jeremy, wasn't going to play as much. Those plays were kind of Jeremy's plays. And with the receivers had last year, they didn't get Jeremy's way. Jeremy wasn't good enough, or they weren't there. Right now, Cade's coming on strong, and he's good enough to get in the mix. And with if we can get the run game going, the play action comes off the running game. And sometimes that's where Mitch and Cade can be a little bit more. We're in the drop back game. Sometimes those guys maybe are 3 or 4 in some of your route progressions. In the play action game, sometimes they're 1 or 2. And that gets maybe the ball come their way a little bit. And Coach Day's doing a really good job of we're working hard. The one big play we had tonight at the end of the game to Ballard, we were really just trying to get a flat throw for G to get a touch for G. And they busted a coverage, and it was a big play. So we're just trying to get G a touch. So as coaches, when we try to do things, it didn't work out a whole lot anyway. So.
And final question for Coach Wilson, Tim May on 3.
Yeah, Kevin, you might have been asked about this already, but Dallan Hayden, the way he came on in camp and stuff, has just kept progressing. And all of a sudden tonight, basically, he's your backup running back as the thing progresses. Just what have you seen out of him from your perspective?
Coming in, we knew he was a good recruit, and Tony does a great job coaching. But to me, instinctively, and TC, our young guy there, the walk-on players, saying, well, they're just instinctive when they make cuts. And because to me, there's there's a little instinct or feel or vision. When he makes a cut, and he makes a guy miss, but he's going forward. He doesn't stop his feet and start chattering. So he's able to be a downhill runner. To not be a big guy, he kind of runs downhill. He runs behind his pads. He's very instinctive, and to me, he flashed the first couple of days like, well, that's just a nice run. Maybe it's a 4 or 5 yard play, but that was a nice cut. That was instinctive. That was natural. He's got a chance to be a really good back.
So what did you think of him tonight?
Seemed like nothing's changed from high school. He was doing the same things, making plays, extending the plays. He had a really good game. Like I said, we were able to kind of contain him a little bit in the second half. Like I said, a lot of credit to him.
Is it okay if we call this a showdown of the Mr. Footballs in Michigan? I guess you could first. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
right?
you beat me in high school too.
So. You had to. You kind of even it out tonight.
Yeah,
77.
Yeah, it was the only way to even it out.
So he was that hard to bring down in high school too?
Yeah, he was really good. I mean, they had him, Sauce Gardner on the same team. They had a lot of other players as well. But like I said, nothing has seemed to change from what he was doing in high school to what he's doing now.
Is there like even 1 second when you watch him playing quarterback and doing that, and you ever think to yourself, oh man, if I was playing quarterback, I'd be doing some of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's something you tend to think about. But like I said, I love the position I play right now. Having a lot of fun with it. I'm glad I just get to go out there and make plays best way I can.
Knowles was sort of talking about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, just that like when you get into the flow of a game, right, and you're getting a feel for it, you understand what an offense is doing. How different was that for you tonight? Again, that you were out there the whole time. Could you feel that at all, like getting a sense of what's really going on out there?
Yeah, for sure. I think it definitely realized that, and also just realized things that I needed to improve on as well.
Okay.
Kind of go both hand in hand. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I did right, but there's a lot of things that I just need to work on to get better. It's only going to come with game reps and just getting those in and getting ready to play Big Ten college plays. I feel really good.
How nice was it for your defense tonight to get some turnovers? That hasn't happened the first 2 weeks and came twice in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it every day. Me, Rocky, and Latham, we were talking about it. I mean, somebody had to get one. We were harping on it all week, and I'm glad we were able to and be able to celebrate on the sideline.
Ronnie said the play that you had to pick, like it was one that you guys saw on film a lot, and then it was like an RPO, and he said when they started running it, he was excited because I guess it was like a chance for it to come up.
Yeah, that was a big talk in the film room. We had seen it so many times, and we were just like, he's going to throw it right to you. That's what he did. And I guess he's just speaking everything to existence, and I guess we're just going to keep on doing it every week.
When you have a chance like this, right, when you get out there as much as you did tonight, you get a start, is this like all the MAC drills and all the off-season workouts and all the times, like, this is why you've worked as hard as you have to prepare yourself for chances like this?
For sure. I think that's why you come here. You go through all those things, trials and tribulations, just to be able to let it out on the field and just have fun. For a minute, I had to kind of take a moment just to see what was around me, just like the atmosphere and the environment I was in. Kind of just taking that all in as well. Because these moments are precious as well. So just being able to do that, putting in all the hard work, and just see it pay off.
What stood out about the atmosphere? What just jumped out at you?
Just the fans. I mean, we got the best fans in the whole world. So just seeing that, especially in the second half where you see the lights go out and everything like that. Like, that's stuff. That's why you play. I'm just glad that I was able to do that and be out there.
Yeah, and you guys especially, did you feel like y'all were going to get tests of depth, et cetera, this year as the year goes on and stuff? How do you think y'all did in that test?
I think we did good. Like I said, we harp on competitive excellence. I feel like there's a lot of guys that were down. A lot of guys came in. Dallin came in.
Yeah.
He had a really good game as well. And that's just what you do. You just make the play when your numbers come.
You said you had some family here tonight?
Yes.
What do you think it was like for them to watch you do that?
Not really sure yet. I think they looked pretty happy after the game. But like I said, I'll see how they are later.
How important is it to play a quarterback like that, knowing that down the road in the Big Ten there are going to be some more mobile guys that you'll face, and maybe one in Ann Arbor towards the end of the year? Is it beneficial for you guys to have to deal with that now?
I think it is. Just out of the past 3 quarterbacks we play, I think this is by far the best one. But it gets us ready. You're dealing with a dual threat like that. That can definitely run on the ground and also throw like that. I think it really helps us for the season and just gets us ready for Big Ten.
Is this field slippery?
A
little bit. But I mean, it's new turf, so it just took me a little minutes to get in.
It seems like more guys have been slipping in the last couple of weeks than you would have thought for a brand new field.
Yeah, it's a little fresh, but it just takes a minute to break in, get used to it. But like I said, the rust's off now. Big Ten plays coming in, so it's time to go work.
Take a moment to get used to his speed, though, his quickness. I mean, he was pretty interesting. Their quarterback fit.
Yeah, like I said.
But Ronnie was talking about that too. You know, it's like till you face the real deal.
Yeah, like I said, nothing has changed from high school with him. What he can do with his legs.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. A lot of consistency.
Did you play him? Did you go against him?
Yeah, I played him.
Yeah. Well, remember the game? I mean, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, they beat us, so I guess I remember that. But I just remember him pretty much doing the same thing he did here tonight. Just kind of doing the same thing.
Did you catch? Go ahead.
When did you find out you were going to start? I mean, was this something through the week where it was a possibility those guys might not play, or was it just decided before the game, hold them out, or what? When did you know, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it was just things that we had talked throughout the week.
It was a possibility.
We guys got guys down. Coach had told me earlier today that I was going to start today. I kind of expected it a little bit, but that was really when I got to say.
What's going through your mind at that point? That you're going to get the most plays maybe that you've ever had? Just what's going through your mind?
I was ready to play. I just know all the hard work and the patience and everything that I had to, do. Just even leading back to my freshman year, it was kind of just I was ready. That's what I showed. I feel like tonight.
You said you took a moment to sort of soak in it. When did you do that? Like warm-ups or right before the game started? Or?
Yeah, like right before the game. I think went out there first possession. So out there, just kind of seeing everything and just enjoying it.
Not everybody does that. It's nice. Like when you should take a moment. It's Ohio Stadium, man. You're starting for Ohio State.
You got to. I mean, like I said, it's why you come here. That's why I prepared and did everything that I've done. Just leave it all on the field and have fun. That's, like I said, ultimately is why I came.
You wonder whether people are ready for the moment. But there's Dallan Hayden out there, basically the number 2 running back, as it turns out, as the game progresses and stuff. You saw that. You guys have all seen that coming in practice, right? I mean, what just stood out about him getting ready for this, but also seizing the moment?
Yeah, it's a guy we saw at fall camp. He didn't early roll. It's just a guy, you always see young guys and you can see the potential that they have. You can also see how good they're going to be. It was no surprise to me what he was able to show. Like I said, we just always harp on the bit of that excellence. I think he did a really good job with it.
Oh, yeah. Last question.
Cam, Ronnie made the point that staging room is so deep. You guys learn from each other a lot. How much did being in that room help prepare you to step into this role today and play the amount of snaps that you played today?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely made me better throughout the years, for sure. Especially, if you look in the room, this is the least amount of time I've played the position. I've only played it for 3 or 4 years so far. So just having those guys and having that experience and just how smart they are and the athletic ability that they have, and just getting better off of each other. I mean, that's why we're there. We compete with each other every day too. And it's for these moments, on the game days.
That was towards the end. Yeah. This was the first time I was in, with the ones and like early in the game, so I had a little nerves, but I was fine after the first couple carries. I felt like
you go for 25-yard run. I mean, that's got to be right yourself.
Yes, sir. I wish I would have got in.
How comfortable do you feel now that you got in? It wasn't just at the end. It was significant playing time.
I feel comfortable because, you never know, when your number's going to be called, so you always got to stay ready, and I feel like I'm ready now, if I'm needed to go into the game and help our team.
Yeah, the pair and the spare thing's a real deal, right? I mean, did you, like you said, when Travion got kind of banged up or whatever it was, you knew immediately you were at least number 2, right? So how did you regroup at that point? What did you reassure yourself with?
I just made sure to realize all the practice and all the preparation I've done up to this point. I practice against the best of the best in the country. I feel like, so I felt like I could practice against these guys. I could go against anyone. So I felt pretty good going into the game.
What is it like to be in the midst of an offensive explosion like that, though, tonight? I mean, y'all scored your first how many possessions in a row, touchdowns?
It's crazy, man. I feel like we're the best offense in the country, so it's just crazy to be a part of it.
Did you expect this coming in, your third game as a Buckeye, you'd be rushing for 100 yards?
Quite honestly, not. It's crazy because, you never know what can happen. So like, you just always have to stay ready, and that's what Coach offer. And like, all the coaches tell me like, you never know when your number's gonna get called. So like, you got to stay ready no matter what.
I know early in training camp when you got here, it's quite an adjustment.
Yeah, big adjustment.
Yeah, I know a lot of freshmen have a hard time with that, and I think you were probably among them.
Yeah.
How did you get over that, and when did you start to feel comfortable?
I just, it really wasn't. I felt like it was more the mental piece of the game. Like I was struggling with like learning a new playbook, learning over like I don't know however many plays we have. Just different than high school for sure. You got to learn. So I would just like study my notes, study my playbook, have to practice every day, watch film, and I felt like that helped me a lot.
You was from early.
Yeah, I came in summer.
How much of did that put you behind from an early entry?
Yes and no, because Coach Alfred and Coach Jeffers did a good job of like, they kind of introduced me to some of the plays like on Zoom before I came, and I felt like that was a big help. Like I felt like if I would have got here and they would have tried to teach me the whole offense, that would have not been good for me. So shout out to those guys for sure.
What'd you think of TC's resume?
It was crazy. I told him he might mess around next Sports Center top 10. That was awesome. I was happy for him.
Did you lose him in that one? Because I think I was down because I lost him. I didn't see him go out. I saw him come out. I didn't see him go in.
No, I found him. I remember when he was like, I was like, you nervous? He's like, a little bit. I was like, just run through something. He went out there and did it.
What was your favorite moment?
I'd say us getting this W for sure.
Bruiser, do you feel like you have like a role that you can play in this offense every week now?
I feel like I bring like speed to the backfield. Like I feel like my speed is the best attribute to my game. I like to get downhill, and I don't mind like contact. Some people think like smaller backs are scared of contact. That's like more than me.
That 45-yard run. Did you think you were going to get in the end zone there? And
I wish I would have gotten in the end zone.
How much you going to kick yourself there?
I was kicking myself. Coach Alfred was like, "You good? You good?" I was like, "Man, I wanted that one. I wanted that one for sure."
Not by any means suggesting that you were taking it easy, but when Evan gets hurt, do you like mentally think like, all right, now I've got to kick it up to another level?
I remember when my man EP got hurt, I had texted him. I was like, "I'm gonna step up for you." He kind of took me in. Him and Trey like took me as like a little brother, especially both of them like telling me like I'm talented and like I can help this team. And when EP got hurt, it kind of hurt us all. So like we all just said like this season's for him. So yeah.
How do you take you in? Like stuff off the field too?
Yeah, off the field. He just always like talk to me, help me with certain plays and stuff, and just was always there. Like he always told me he was the young guy I wanted, so he knows it can be hard. So yeah, none but respect for that man.
I'm just knowing that we had that package, and I felt like I felt comfortable and confident with my ability to be in there and block for the run if I needed to, and be able to take that jet sweep like I did. So it was something we had worked on plenty times during the week. It's something that we just continue to build confidence with, Monday through Friday. So I was excited for that package.
How much did you already ask this, but can you feel how much tonight meant for Julian after the game? Because he's been, I think, itching to have any kind of moment, especially one like this.
Oh my gosh, it means so much for Julian. One of the best dudes on the team, and just the way he just stepped up tonight. And just, after battling injury after injury, adversity after adversity, and still coming back being stronger and stronger the way he has and being the leader he has for our team. It was just time till, he stepped into the spotlight and had his big moment. I was super happy for the game he had. Being able to score 2 touchdowns, that's huge. And it's huge for his confidence as well going into the later parts of the season. So I'm really happy for him, and he's going to continue to build and excel and thrive.
To have something new come up the way he did in camp, a lot of guys that could be like really devastating, really like throw off their whole season. How did he sort of handle that mentally from what you saw?
I mean, he didn't get Iron Buckeye for no reason, he has an iron mindset. That injury didn't set him back at all. There's certain guys who get injuries, and you can see the look in their eyes that they've been defeated. Julian's the complete opposite. He got the injury. He was in the training room 24/7, getting right, working with the trainers day after day. He wasn't right for Notre Dame. All right, that's fine. He wasn't right for Arkansas State. All right, that's fine. But he was here tonight, and everyone saw it.
How much did having Jackson back help open things up for this offense tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Jackson is a huge threat to any opponent he steps on the field with. It doesn't matter if we were playing Alabama or if we were playing tonight. Attention is going to be drawn to Jackson. You can count on him to win his one-on-one battles 24/7. So just having that on the field, sometimes teams are going to double, triple him. It doesn't really matter. And that just opens up the pass game and the run game. You're able to split teams. It's a big help.
Do you notice that when you're out there that you're getting more single coverage when Jackson's on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. You can feel the attention going to him. But the crazy part about it is that it doesn't really stop him too much. So he's definitely a special, once-in-a-generation type player.
Did it feel like the whole game was finally back together tonight with Jackson and Julian around?
Right.
I'm talking about the whole Zone 6 game.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we have the best wide receiver room in the nation. And, we miss our guys. Still waiting on Cam Bad to get back. But with all of us together, I mean, we're the most well-oiled machine that you'll find around. So I feel like the nation saw that today. A lot of guys put on display. You even saw people like JB step up. His first touchdown's a 72-yard touchdown. So it just speaks levels to the high-level athletes and high-character people we have in our room.
And did y'all openly talk about this week about being more consistent right out of the gate? I mean, you know what I mean? Obviously, y'all didn't punt till the third quarter. You're saying what I'm saying.
That was a big emphasis this week. That was part of the reason we took the ball first. We knew we had to get off to a fast start. We were able to do that tonight, and it felt great.
You've seen Julian work back from injury the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Your guys been around here for a while. What does it mean for you to see a guy like Julian catch the touchdowns, have the kind of game that he has tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he's so professional, day in and day out. Every day matters to him. Every day is important. Every rep he takes on the field and every rep he takes in the training room, getting his body right. It was only a matter of time till he had a night like this and exploded. And I'm excited for what's to come for him. But, even if he were to get another injury, no one would be too worried. He's a guy that's going to battle and everything that's thrown his way. And, I'm pretty confident in him not getting another injury and because of the way he takes care of his body. And it's going to show every week.
You've got a little ice on your hand. Are you all good there?
All good. Just jam on.
Could you tell how much Jackson wanted to back out here?
Yeah, football is his passion. You know what I mean? He loves being out there on the field, and not just because of the aspects of catching touchdown passes and making defenders look silly. He loves playing with us. He loves playing with his brothers. Zone 6 means a lot to him. So he was a little bummed when he came out a little early. But that's just Jackson. He's so passionate about what he does. He has so much energy. He's such a light in our room. So I mean, it means a lot to him every day. So I'm excited for him to get back.
I don't think I've ever asked a question about the point before, but you guys actually took the ball up the fur, and Coach Day said he wanted to jump on those guys and just establish something. Is that the kind of way you felt about it?
That's exactly how I felt about it. I was super happy when I heard that. Pretty much everyone on the team was fired. But that's the type of mindset we want to have every week, jumping on opponents fast, getting on them early, so that we're able to execute fast. And, once we get the ball rolling, you can't really stop us.
When did he talk to you about that? I had to say before the game.
Yeah, he said it before the game. He said if we get the coin flip goes our way, we're taking the ball and we're going to jump on them early, and that's exactly what we were able to do tonight.
Emeka, maybe you were already asked this. This may sound silly. Is this season going so far the way that you thought it would? Having 2 back-to-back 100-yard games, almost 3.
Right.
Really, with Notre Dame, or are you like, no, this is exactly what I knew?
You never know what's going to happen. I just leave everything up to God, to be honest. He's my rock, and I put everything in his hands. And no matter how the night goes, if I have 0 catches, if I get an injury, if I have a lot of touchdowns, it doesn't really matter to me in the end because football is what I do, but it's not really who I am. So that's something I've been working on. Football means everything to me, but putting my whole identity into football is something that can be dangerous. And So I'm definitely happy with the way the season started. I'm happy to keep going, and I'm happy on the track this team's on. And if I contribute in any way in the next coming weeks, I'll be happy. He was in tonight. You're just able to see all the work he's putting in the offseason. We have amazing running backs like Trey and Mayan, but that was something special too. And it's just a routine for him. I'm excited to see where his future goes.
You see all the threats you guys have on offense. How do you think opponents are going to see you guys? It just seems like every single person feels like a major threat.
Yeah, I mean, I would be biting my nails if I was a D coordinator. So I can't really answer that question too well. It's kind of hard to deal with us, and that was evident tonight. We know we can do this every single week, no matter who the opponent is. It's never about the opponent; it's always about us and the level we're able to execute at. So we're just excited to get back into the lab and get focused on Wisconsin.
Emeka, how much does it help you guys as receivers when Cade is making plays in the passing game?
Yeah, Cade, the effort he puts into the run game and stuff like that, it goes too much unnoticed. And Mitch Rossi and G. Scott, their blocking up front is spectacular, and that's part of the reason why our running backs do so well too. So when we're able to do hard play action and they're able to sneak out the backside or something like that, it's well deserved. And when Cade gets the ball in his hands, he's a bulldozer, man. It's hard to take him down. One person definitely can't take him down. So early in the game, you're able to see what Cade can do, and he's able to do that every week. Find the best that you guys can play, or do you still see more room?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we've reached our full potential yet, or even come close to it. I'm not sure how many points we do. A total 21. 21. Yeah. See, I feel like we got so much left, to show you guys, and we can play so much better, so much sharper. Even though we still are playing pretty well, our full potential is going to blow people away when we finally put it all together.
How much of that is that you still haven't had a chance to have? I mean, Brock was out tonight, Mike Boulder didn't play. But
yeah,
you guys have dealt with a little bit, so you haven't even had the full complement together. That's got to be maybe part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Missing some pieces here and there, it makes a big difference. But I thought guys filled in well tonight. Played well. Hats off to Toledo's quarterback. He made a bunch of big time plays, and or else maybe they don't score those 3 times. So obviously having those guys down definitely kind of shake some things up here and there. But I think overall we did a really well job.
You got credit for that first sack.
Did I? Me and Tyleek, we were arguing about it on the sideline. I just want to know if I did or didn't. That's good to know.
Unless they changed it in the scorebook, you had it. So.
Oh really? Awesome. I couldn't really tell. It was kind of weird. Yeah. Awesome.
That wins that bet for you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to text him after I'm leaving. So
thanks, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
3 games into the season, how have you been adjusting to the jack position, and how close do you think you are to claiming the lead in the title?
I think that's on Coach Knowles' time. I'm just trying to get better every day at it, and learn new things every day and make improvements. And I think it's a good package to have in our defense. I think it brings a lot of versatility and it gives offense different looks. So let's keep progressing at it. Hopefully someday we can say that.
As a defensive line, is there an excitement that comes with being able to shift through so many different fronts, use the jack in so many different ways, kind of present all those different, like you said, looks to the front?
Yeah, definitely. I think it excites us all because it doesn't allow the offensive line to know what we're doing every play and double down on a 3-tech or double down on those. And so it's kind of nice having that. Knowing those inside guys can come free too, because that helps us rush as well. So having all those different looks and those different fronts can only help our defense. So we're all really excited about that too.
Finn's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Explosive athlete. There are a few breakdowns, but all in all, how would you say you did on defense?
I'd say I thought we did pretty well on defense. Like I said, got to give credit to him. He made a bunch of big time plays. With his legs, or getting outside the pocket and throwing it deep a couple times. So I thought he was a great player. I think, like I said, he made a couple big time plays for us, and maybe they'll score those 3 times.
You've got Wisconsin coming in next week. How do you think that the non-conference part of the schedule is preparing you guys defensively for the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of different offenses in the last 3 weeks. Notre Dame kind of being a more power team, and last 2 weeks being a little more spread. I think it's made us see things and be able to adjust more to practice, and when we see those different looks, be able to play. Be ready to play those. So.
For you guys to play quarterback like that,
there's a lot of different styles in the Big Ten. A lot of different guys that can move around. You haven't played one of those guys yet.
Yeah, it's definitely playing a guy like that early on it's really big for us. We obviously haven't played an athlete like that, a quarterback. I mean, that guy could move, and then he even had, what I liked about him is he kept his eyes downfield. There's a lot of guys who scramble a lot, don't really keep their eyes downfield. You can see he made a couple big time throws when he got outside the pocket. So I think it's great for us to see a guy like that. Like you said, the Big Ten's got a lot of dynamic quarterbacks, and I think it's going to help us run the Big Ten play.
To finally get a couple of
Yeah, finally we got a couple of turnovers. Last 2 weeks we played really good defense, but just haven't really had a chance to get any turnovers. And so, having Ronnie come with that pick and then JB getting that strip sack, it definitely it's gonna motivate us to get more turnovers coming up.
Is it kind of weird for you that the last 2 weeks it seems like there's not a lot to work on with the defense, but also there was no turnovers, and now all of a sudden there's 2 turnovers, but now you guys got some things to work on?
Yeah, there's always things to work on. We're always practicing, stripping the ball and making plays on tip balls too. So I think getting those turnovers is good for us. Get off our back, finally get a turnover, and then there's always stuff to improve on in that area.
You're a team guy. I got to ask.
Yeah, I didn't know I got credit for it until just now. So that's funny. Appreciate you, Tylee, pushing the quarterback back into my guy. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool to get off my back and just keep rushing. I think really all of us ends have been rushing really well this season. We've been flushing the quarterback out, getting QB hits. I think the sacks are coming, so it's nothing to be worried about with us. We know we've been rushing pretty well. We're gonna start getting home runs.
A little different, not having Mike.
Yeah, he definitely missed his energy. Mike,
a little less of a push.
Yeah, Mike brings a lot of energy. But I thought guys behind him stepped up pretty well, and I thought we all played pretty well as a defense. So.
What are you most proud of in a night like tonight?
Just proud of how our team played. Offense came out like gangbusters and put up 77 points. And defense, I thought we played really well too, except for a couple big plays here and there, which we'll clean up. So I'm just proud of how we all played together. We finally kind of put both pieces of the puzzle together.
And I guess it felt like you weren't that far away from doing this in the last couple of games. Just a couple little things here and there. How did you guys see that? You sort of evaluated the last couple of weeks. Did you feel like you were pretty close to that game?
Yeah, we were frustrated coming out of those last 2 games a little bit because we knew we were that close to putting it all together and blowing these teams out. And finally today we kind of we get a 3 now, offense go down and score. The offense go down and score, we get 3 now. It's kind of like working hand in hand. Last couple of weeks, offense would score, then we'd give up a long drive, or we'd get a 3 and out, and they wouldn't score. So finally putting it together was really good for us moving forward in the Big Ten.
Real quick, just 2 more questions. How difficult is it to contain a quarterback that's that elusive?
I mean, I didn't know he was that elusive on film. Doesn't do justice. But that person, he can fly. He's so quick too. When he'll just peek and he'll see it, and he'll already be out the door. So playing a guy like that, I think is good for our defense. Seeing a guy like that. I don't know if we'll play another guy this whole year that's that dynamic. So
how did it feel forcing the turnover? 2 takeaways tonight.
I felt great. We've been wanting to get a couple turnovers here and there. Last couple weeks we weren't able to do it, so we've kind of been harping on that. Attacking the ball and making sure we're catching overthrows and stuff like that. So we knew they were coming. We were playing really good defense, and it's just a matter of time for that happened. So.
What did you do with tonight?
I think Brian just made a good play, and then JB with the awareness when he was coming off the edge to strip the ball. Just 2 guys who made 2 big time plays. And we expect that out of those guys. So.
What was the reaction like after Ronnie finally get that first takeaway?
Oh, we were all excited. We were all really excited on the sideline. First takeaway of the year meant a lot to us. We were really excited about that.
Thank you, Jack.
To come back into the lineup and how the impact you had, and to make the 1 catch, I'm still not sure how you did that. What was it like for you after tonight?
Man, it was honestly just a really crazy experience. I had a lot of showcases as well to get to this point, but just being able to go out there and play with my team and one of the best teams in the country, it was a great experience.
To get the Iron Buckeye, to get all the offseason accolades, to be recognized by your coaches through the offseason, but to finally get on the field and just do it. How satisfying were you personally?
It is satisfying, but sometimes you just can't be fully satisfied. You got to keep looking for that little extra thing to get better at, that little extra thing to improve on. So I'm still looking to improve on and off the field in every aspect of the game.
What do you tweak? Was that something completely new that you're doing?
Yeah, it kind of happened out of nowhere, and then it was just kind of, it was unexpected. It was, there's nothing I really do to prevent it. So from that time until now, it's just been a lot of rehab and a lot of taking care of my body the best I can. No, sir.
That had to be a new level of frustrating. I think you've come back from so much, and some of the things you were occurring, I guess, you kind of said, how did it feel to have something last week?
It ripped me apart a little bit at first, but just being able to talk to some of my teammates, think about some of my teammates that have been through so many things and have been able to come back. It kind of kept me in a positive head, and just to think that there's so many other things in the world that could really be happening. I'm complaining about a little tweak, so. I just had to take it on the chest, come in with a positive attitude, help my teammates out as much as possible, and just get the treatment that I needed.
What do you need for yourself at a night like tonight to actually get on the field? All of your teammates and coaches have kept saying you're going to do it. How much did you need to get on the field and do it?
Nah, I definitely needed it. It feels like it's been forever since I played football. Like I was talking to my friends even in the locker room. I'm like, man, it feels weird to have these pads on with the jersey and everything. So it was definitely a confidence boost for me, as it was for the rest of the team. And now we're on to the next week.
What do you mention?
Yeah, I'm confident. Yeah, I think I caught it.
How many times are you going to watch the replay to make sure?
I haven't even watched it yet, so I'm gonna have to watch it. But I think I caught it. Yes, sir.
What are you most proud of tonight?
Honestly, just the team as a whole. We were in talking before the game about dominating them the entire game, and we've come out slow the past couple weeks, so that was another challenge to be able to come out fast and dominate the team the whole game. So just seeing how the offense did that in every aspect of the game, and the defense came out and did it as well in every aspect of the game. It was just, I feel like it just brings the team closer as a whole. And I feel like it's just another stepping stone for us.
But I know the results were in the right direction tonight compared to the last couple of weeks, but how different from an execution perspective, like how close were you guys week 1 and week 2 to putting up a performance like this one?
That's a tough question. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's kind of like building blocks. Like week 1 was down here, week 2 we're up here, week 3 we're here, and I think week 4 as we continue to go, you should be playing your best football in the postseason. So I think as long as we keep just constantly building and relying on each other and having confidence in each other, we'll be a great team at the end of the year.
What do you think it was that clicked so well for the offense tonight?
Honestly, it was a great week of practice. It's probably the best week of practice we've had. It was the most confidence we had in each other. Our game plan was very concise, was perfect, and I feel like we just came out and we executed very, very well. So.
But
then when you get that one in your hand, is it a hallelujah moment? Explain what goes on.
Yeah, it's definitely both of those. We weren't able to get one of the first 2 weeks, so the fact that I was able to get it rolling was huge. We kind of drilled it all week, leading up to that second half, because we didn't get one in the first half as well. So let's just get a turnover for me to do that. It was huge.
And with Josh, how much of pressure did on that safety room to deliver it?
I don't think myself or the guys in the room for pressure.
I just meant for the guys
that
step up and play.
No, I mean, I've said earlier, everyone in that room is making plays in camp. We're all doing the same thing, so it was just another chance for us to go out there and play. The next man comes up.
You remember having to calm anybody down? No. With that kind of thing?
No, it wasn't that. Just excited to get out there and play.
Thanks, Ron.
Appreciate it.
It's a similar thing. Like Coach Day's been talking a lot about how much of probably would help a lot of like Jackson and Julian being out. And that's anything be true, I guess, after having to play with them.
I mean, yeah, whenever you can add depth and add healthy guys on your roster is always a plus. So having those guys back healthy and ready to go is always going to be helpful.
On the verge of being something that's also kind of stuck behind guys this year, and this is one of those great opportunities so far.
Yeah, Cam's just a guy, he's been detailed since day one. He's one of those guys when you throw in a game and you don't have any words, because he puts in the work, he rushes the field and stuff like that. So for him to go out there and play the way he did and come up with some big plays, it's nothing new. It doesn't surprise us at all.
How much you guys help each other? What's it felt like with all of you guys? How's that?
I love it. I think Coach E, he adds like a comedic side to it, which keeps us engaged and stuff like that. Obviously, it's time to get serious and stuff like that, but we enjoy it. When it's your play, you may not feel the best, but you're being coached the right way. And guys are not just looking at the play, but they're learning from their mistakes as well. So ultimately, it helps everyone.
Is it a collaborative game? Like say, we're looking at one of your plays and something you did wrong. Getting collaborative from everybody, or is it just kind of you looking at it and you talk compared?
Well, it's definitely Coach E coaching us up on it. He definitely runs the team and stuff like that, but everyone's been here. So, everyone's learning the same stuff. We're on the same page.
You mentioned, the comedic side.
It's hard with Coach E. Like, you just got the way he says stuff, the way he does stuff. It's just easy. You always got energy, man. He's just a funny guy. I love it,